This is a 30-minute practice to create some mobility in your hamstrings and in your hips. I recommend sitting up for this practice with your yoga mat the long way to the screen so that when you are at the top of your mat, your side will be facing the screen. I also recommend props for this practice, beginning with a blanket. This is going to be helpful for padding your knees. And then blocks. When working with the hamstrings, blocks can really be your friend. If you don't have yoga blocks, grab a shoebox or a really thick book or any box you have that's a similar size. We'll begin our practice lying down. Lie down on your back. Take a moment to breathe. Start to feel the support of the ground underneath you. Feel all the contact points between the ground and your body. Underneath your legs and your hips. The different parts of your back, shoulders, arms, and the full support of your head. Focus your attention on your hips. Remember, there's absolutely no judgment here. You're just curious. So with curiosity, see if there's any sensation you can feel in either the left or the right hip. It's not uncommon for us, people who sit a lot, to feel some tightness or soreness in the hips. Sometimes we get that from sitting a lot because our hips don't get to move in its different direction. In this practice, you're going to give your hips a chance to move in all their different directions to ease up some of that feeling of tightness. Start with the right leg. Pull your right leg into the center. Extend your left leg long. You need to draw your right leg across your body and over to the side. Draw your leg across into the side. Movement doesn't have to be big. Just pay attention to what's happening. These little movements of the hip. Left to right. Right to left. And then slowly begin to make circles in the hip by drawing circles with the knee. 3, 4, maybe 5 times in one direction. And then switch, guide your knee in the opposite direction. Pay attention to any parts of the circle that feel really smooth and fluid. Pay attention to any parts that feel like they might be catching or have a little snap, crackle, pop. That stuff's totally normal. Just something to observe. Take the right leg, draw it in again, and release. Let's switch the left leg in now. Gently pull it toward your body, and then slide it across to the center. Guide it left. Draw to the center and guide it left. You may notice that this hip feels a little different from the other one. Also, perfectly normal. and just something to observe. Let's begin with our circles. 3 to 5 times in one direction. And then 3 to 5 in the opposite direction. And then pull left knee in. Release just a little bit. Grab the right leg too. Pull both of them in. See if you can touch them together. And then you're going to allow them to separate and press the knees down as far as they go, like you're trying to stick them in your armpits. And then lift your head up, look in between your feet. While you're there, grab a hold of your shins or your ankles. And then lower your head back down and draw the feet up to face the ceiling. Then gently pull down on the legs and rock side to side. And then release the legs. And back to the center again. Lift your head up, and this time see if you can wrap your hands or your whole arm around your legs. And release down. Soles of the feet flat on the ground, knees bent, pointing up to the ceiling. Hands are down by your side, preparing for bridge pose. Inhale, press through your feet to lift your hips. Exhale, slowly lower the hips back down. Inhale, lift your hips. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. From here, slowly roll to one side. Press up. And maneuver yourself to all fours or tabletop. Spread your fingers wide, wrists are underneath your shoulders. And then bring the toes together to touch and separate your knees so that they are wider than your hips. Inhale, look forward, tilt your back a little bit. And then exhale, shift backwards as far as your body allows. So you may like to come to rest all the way on your heels or not. You're gonna rise back up. Now this is a good time to pad with your blanket, but instead of under your knees, this posture actually can be nice to have it behind the knees. Let's try this again. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, slide back, maybe using the blanket. And then inhale, come up. So now that you know what it's like with and without the prop, you can choose whether or not you want to use it. I'm going to repeat 3 more times this movement. Inhale, gaze forward. Exhale, slide back. Inhale, gaze forward. Exhale, slide back. Maybe even lower your forehead all the way to the earth. Inhale, slide forward, look forward. Exhale, slide back. Inhale, slide forward, gaze forward. And then exhale, a little pause. Optional add-on here is a twist. Inhale, right hand out and up. Exhale, thread it under your body to the left. And then lower your hips back. And maybe lower your shoulder all the way down to the ground and your cheek all the way down. Catch your next inhale to press out, lift up, reach right hand to the ceiling. And exhale, plant it down. Now the left side. Inhale, left hand out, up. Exhale, thread it under your body to the right. As you lower your hips and maybe shoulder and cheek. Catch the next inhale to unwind, sweep your left arm up, and exhale, hand down. Now walk your knees in underneath your hips, and then walk your hands back. You're gonna stand up onto the knees. Now here's a moment where you might like to grab a blanket for padding. Fold it to the desired thickness for you, and then place it down right next to the mat where it's handy. You're gonna take your your right leg, slide it forward, and then if you want to, use the blanket under your knee, just put it underneath the left one now. Walk your hands up on top of the right leg. Inhale, set your hips over your left knee. Exhale, slide both hips forward. Inhale, draw back, drop shoulders down. Exhale, slide forward. Inhale, slide back. Exhale, slide forward. Inhale, draw back. Exhale, slide forward. One more of these. Draw back. Exhale, forward. Next, bring your fingertips down to the ground and straighten your back leg. Walk up to a tall lunge. Inhale, arms reach up to the ceiling. Exhale, bend your back knee a little bit. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, hands down to the ground, back knee onto the earth, and now is a great time for the blocks. Put them on either side of the front foot, and then shift your weight back. Pull your right toes to the ceiling. Inhale, lengthen your spine. There can be a good healthy bend in this front knee. Exhale, see if you can round down a little closer to your knees, or you're trying to touch your forehead there. And then back away. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, find a deeper stretch. Inhale, length. Exhale, find a deeper stretch. Inhale, length. And then exhale into a deeper stretch. And if you liked having the spine rounded for this stretch, we'll hold it for a few breaths. Do that. If you prefer to have a long spine for the stretch, you can do that instead. There's really no right or wrong, it's just personal preference. Now, see if you can focus without judgment, without any value at all, on the stretch you feel on the back side of your right leg. So you hold for 3 more breath cycles. Catch your next inhale, draw out of the deepest part of the pose. Give yourself a little more slack, and then walk your hands left. And come back, center. Drop your toes right. Toes center. Toes left. Toes center. Great. Bend the front knee, relieving that hamstring stretch. Moving into some hip strengthening. So you're going to straighten your back leg. And then turn the back toes out. The sole of the foot's flat on the mat. And then inhale, windmill up into warrior two. Exhale and bend your right knee until it's about over the front ankle. Turn your gaze over the right fingertips and then flip the right hand. Inhale, reach right hand to the ceiling. Exhale, right elbow down. Inhale, right hand up. Exhale, elbow to thigh. Inhale, right hand up. Exhale, elbow down. Inhale through warrior two all the way to straight front leg, and then bring your hands to your hips. You're gonna send hips right and left, like so, just kind of feeling what sort of mobility you have for this particular motion. You're gonna bring it all the way to the edge. So, send the hips left as far as they go, and then back away. Send your hips really far left. You can see when I do that, my torso naturally leans to the right. And back away. One more time, really tilt your hips as far as they go. You can kind of give yourself a little pressure here in this crease. So push a little further. And then you're going to hold here in triangle pose. You can also add the hands away from the hips. So right hand could come down to the right leg, or since we have props, we could place it on a block. And then left hand can stay at the hip or reach up to the ceiling. See how this pose brings a big stretch into the back of the right leg and into the side bodies, but it's also strengthening at the side body. And the next inhale, come up to a warrior, pass through to a star pose, and then exhale, bend your knees out, bring your hands down onto your thighs. Inhale, lengthen your spine, drop your shoulders away from your ears, and then exhale, let the shoulders come up a little bit as you weight bear into your hands. Inhale again, keeping the weight in your hands. Exhale, look left. Inhale to the center. Exhale, look right. Inhale, center. Exhale, left. Inhale to the center. Exhale, right. Inhale to the center. Exhale, hands in front of your sternum, sink your hips a little lower. Inhale, reach out, star pose. Exhale to warrior two on the other side. Now might be a good time to grab blocks. You're gonna put them toward the back of your mat so they're within reach. Exhale, warrior two. Flip your front hand, now the left. Reach left hand up. Exhale, left elbow to left thigh. Inhale, left hand up. Exhale, left elbow, left thigh. Inhale, left hand up. Exhale, left elbow. Inhale, reach up through warrior two, straighten the front leg, and then hands to hips. Now see what the mobility is here. It's going to feel different because of the orientation of your legs being different. We're shifting right and left. And then let's go to the end range. So you're going to push your hips to your right and back away. Push hips right, natural tilt of your torso. And back away. And again, tilt. And then on the side, remember to keep both side bodies evenly long. It's going to bring more of this pose into the backs of the legs, into the hamstring muscles that we're trying to specifically target today. You can stay right here for your triangle pose, or you may want to take some additional arm movements. So left hand can come down to left leg or a block. And right hand may lift to the ceiling. Next, inhale, rise to warrior two. As you exhale, windmill your hands down to frame the left foot. Adjust your blanket if you're using it for padding, and set your right knee down on the ground. Walk your hands up on top of the left thigh. Inhale, draw back. Exhale, slide forward. Inhale, draw back. Exhale, slide forward. Inhale, draw back. If you're noticing any tension in your shoulders, jaw, temples, let it go. Exhale, forward. Inhale, back. Exhale, forward. Let's do one more on this side. Inhale, draw back. And exhale, forward. Next, hands on the ground. And we have blocks if the ground seems very far away. Straighten your back leg. Inhale, reach up. High lunge, crescent pose. Exhale, bend the back knee. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, hands come down to the ground or blocks, back knee onto the earth, shift back, hamstring stretch. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, round your back. Again, you're trying to touch your nose or your forehead to your knee in direction. They don't actually have to touch. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, lower nose or forehead to knee. Inhale, length. And exhale, a little more into the stretch. Inhale, stretch up. Exhale, bow down. Now start to think of where you want to hold this pose on this side. So either with a long spine or a rounded spine. Choose your posture. And then let's focus very closely, very cleanly on the back of the left leg. Just pay attention to the stretch that is happening there. See if you can breathe any more length into that part of your body. Inhale and come up to the deepest part of the stretch so you have a little more space, and then walk hands to the left. Bring your right hand back around. Drop your toes to the left. Toes to the center. Toes to the right. Toes back to the center. And drag your left leg back. Make your way onto your spine again. You may want your blanket close by for the end of the practice. You can roll onto your back. And then bend knees, soles of the feet flat on the earth, hands by the hips. Cross your right leg over the left. And then, if you're feeling a good stretch here, you may stay. If you don't feel a lot of sensation, you may want to pick up the left leg and then circle your hands around the left thigh. And then gently draw your leg toward you. I really like ankles to be bent a lot here, so your toes are pointed up to the ceiling, and that can help keep the sensation in your hip. So you can relax your shoulders even if your arms are doing some work for this stretch. And then maybe close your eyes. Let's count at least 3 breaths together in this posture before we change. Release this posture and switch for the other side. Left leg across the right. Keep in mind, sides can be different. So decide where you would like to feel the stretch. And then settle in. And release. Set your legs up in the air, 90-90, so the shins are parallel to the ground. And then drop your arms out like a T. Allow both legs to fall to the right. This might be a good time for your blanket. Bring the ground a little bit closer to your knees so that they don't have to hang in the air, they can rest on a blanket. Let your left shoulder sink to the earth. And come out of the twist and switch to the other side. Knees go left. Maybe gaze goes right. Gently bring your legs back to center. Keep them there. Wrap your arms around the legs. Draw them in as far as they go. Make yourself a ball. And then release into your final resting pose. You can be flat on your back or just keep the knees bent. Find a posture where you can relax. You may want to grab your blanket and put it over your body if the room you're in is a little chilly. Once again, feel the ground underneath your body, supporting you under each limb, torso, and your head. Check Check in with your hips. See if they feel any different from the beginning of your practice. And whatever you notice, now let it go. Bring your attention to your breath. Simply allow your body to breathe you while you observe the natural inhale and the easy exhale. If you have time, I definitely recommend that you pause here for a few minutes, listen to a soothing song or sounds of nature or just silence. Give yourself some time to relax. When you're ready to move on, begin to deepen your breath. Wiggle your fingers and toes, wrists, elbows, knees, yes, even hips. And eventually roll yourself to one side. Calmly push yourself up. Take your time to get your bearings. And then when you are ready, get up and go on with your day. I hope you have a good one. Thanks for joining.